Hello everyone and welcome back to Through the Dragon Glass. I am officially done with Disney. I'm tired of it. It's not that great. If I were to continue, the next part would be on Disney's brother and his nephew, so it wasn't all that great. And then there was just so much information, it just wasn't worth it. So I'm going back to Eustace Mullins and we're going to go over some of his books. The first one we are doing is Why General Patton Was Murdered. It's a very good book. Very short, so it's only one video. And let's just... before we get started, before we dive in, I want everyone to hit that thumbs up, notification bell, subscribe button, and tell a friend about me. I think there's a share button now. Thumbs up, notifications, subscribe, share. Leave a comment. Make sure you leave a comment because that really helps out with the algorithm. Alright guys, let's get started on Why General Patton Was Murdered by Eustace Mullins. General George S. Patton was one of America's greatest heroes and was murdered by communists on December 21st, 1945.
Carl, we've run out of grain. I told you common ownership wasn't going to work. It's antithetical to human nature.
But we only tried this once. It wouldn't be fair not to give it a second chance. Okay, so the second time was a wash. But did we really get any closer to trying real socialist principles? Best 3 out of 5?
Patton was relieved from command of the Third Army because he opposed the dismemberment of Germany and campaigned using military force against communists. Patton was going to return to the United States once he was finished governing the American sector of Germany. He was immensely popular and would be impossible to beat if he ran for president. Patton's enemies could not allow him to become the president and was executed before he could leave Germany. Patton survived several assassination attempts from his fellow generals and even British leaders during World War II. A few months before his assassination, Patton's normal driver of 5 years was replaced. On December 9, 1945, Major General Gay convinced Patton to accompany him on an excursion only a few hours before Patton was to leave Germany for the United States. At 11:45 a.m. on a clear day, a GMC military truck struck the side of Patton's 1938 Cadillac 75 Special limousine on a straight road on a clear day. Patton was the only person injured, but it wasn't serious and he soon recovered. On December 21st, 1945, General Patton was announced dead by an embolism as a result of the car wreck. An embolism is when a bubble of air is introduced into the bloodstream and is fatal when the bubble reaches a vital organ. This could have been easily accomplished with just a syringe. Patton was extraordinarily healthy for a 60-year-old with a tremendous amount of energy, and he only needed a few hours of sleep every night. The United States Army investigated the car accident which hospitalized Patton, but ignored Patton's death from an embolism.
Heart attack from your buddy. You're the mini-stroke.
Before the car accident, there were several assassination attempts that were never investigated. On April 20th, 1945, when flying in his private plane, the British Royal Air Force, RAF, sent a Spitfire plane in an attempt to shoot down Patton's plane. The endeavor failed and the Spitfire lost control and crashed. The RAF accused a Polish pilot of committing the act and it was swept under the rug. Patton was the only general the Germans greatly feared. If there were rumors he was on a particular front, the Germans transferred entire divisions. Neither Patton nor German generals had any respect for Patton's fellow generals. In 1943, Patton had turned the tide in Africa with several crucial victories. Very shortly after Patton's victories, a journalist named Drew Pearson wrote an article accusing Patton of calling a man a yellow-bellied Jew at a field hospital.
Moreover, from the late Middle Ages, yellow had been associated with falsehood, treason, and treachery. Judas was also depicted wearing yellow at this time.
Eisenhower refused Patton from commanding the ground troops in England and gave it to General Omar Bradley. Patton exposed Bradley as an incompetent coward. He lost thousands of Americans' lives because of Bradley's incompetence. Patton called Eisenhower Ike, but behind his back a fool. Eisenhower fell in love with his chauffeur, K. Summersby, but Patton convinced Eisenhower not to divorce his wife, Mamie. It turned out K. Summersby was a British spy and was sleeping with Eisenhower to get him to send American soldiers to the front line instead of British soldiers. She secretly despised Eisenhower and was extremely successful at her job. It is established she cost over 100,000 American soldiers' lives, which should have been borne by the British. Patton had made bold advances in Germany. As a result, Field Marshal Montgomery convinced Eisenhower to issue an amazing military order. All the Allied armies were to move side by side so that General Patton wouldn't get any undue credit.
I don't think it's gonna work. No?
Patton achieved amazing victories by being on the field of battle, unlike other generals who remained far behind the front. Patton was asked why during the war he never took Prague. Patton replied that he could have taken it, but was ordered not to.
You disobeyed a direct order, Hog! A direct order from your commanding officer. Yes, sir.
Eisenhower refused to let Patton take Prague and Berlin and let the Russians occupy both cities. Eisenhower committed treason by allowing the Russians to take over a part of Germany. Patton thought he could destroy the Russians due to how they lacked artillery, air, tanks, and the knowledge to use combined armies. Patton was not merely a great American general, but was impervious to negative influences. He married a rich woman, making him financially invulnerable, and he was happily married, making it impossible for him to succumb to a foreign spy. Patton thought communists were the enemies of America and a lower form of human life. He thought they were a subhuman species without any of the cultural or social refinements of our time. Patton opposed recruiting several agents like Henry Kissinger, who won control of the military in Germany. Patton hated communists so much, he once wrote to his wife that Germans were the only decent people in Europe. General George S. Patton was removed from command by a communist plot against him. A truck smashed into his car to stop him from returning to the United States. Those who fight for America are always in danger. Patton is an American hero, and his story is an inspiration to all. Alright guys, thanks for listening. I'm sorry that it took so long to get this video out. I just started a business with my friend. It's called LifeLift. It's a way to control the money that you donate to people so they can't spend it on like booze and stuff. They can spend it on, you can say spend it on your rent, or spend it on groceries, or spend it on medication, things like that. So I really think it's going to be successful. So I'm really working hard on that. But in my free time, I am working on this. And the next book we are going to go through is another Eustace Mullins. It's called Washington, D.C., City of Fear, A Black Hell, The Shame of America. So that one is going to be a good one. And it kind of goes along with, what's happening today as we're, seeing more and more corruption being exposed. So, yay. Okay, guys, I will talk to you later.